Pittsburgh CLO's 2026 PNC Summer of Musicals. Feel the music with Beautiful, the Carole King musical, the inspiring story of a girl from Brooklyn who became a chart-topping legend. Mean Girls, the fiercely funny smash hit musical based on Tina Fey's hit film. And don't miss the Tony Award-winning sensation, Suffs, the bold, brilliant story of the women who fought tirelessly for the right to vote. 3 must-see shows, 1 unforgettable summer of musicals. This June and July at the Benedum Center. Get your tickets today. PittsburghCLO.org.
Today's show is supported by the Athens County Visitors Bureau. My better half, some of y'all know this, is a bobcat, so I have spent my share of spring and autumn nights sipping Black Widows at the Pigskin. But when school is out for the summer, Athens County is a totally different vibe. So laid back, same small town, same lush, picturesque hills, but basically no crowds. Think over 100 miles of mountain bike trails, scenic paddling, hiking, and winding back roads you can explore. You can eat local food, catch live music, do some shopping, so much more. I challenge you, go beyond Court Street and visit AthensOhio.com for more information. It's more than a place, it's a place to belong. This is CityCast Pittsburgh. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about.
Hey, executive producer Mallory Falk here, filling in for Megan, and I am with producer Sophia Lo. Hey, Sophia.
Good morning.
We are going to be talking about some new restaurants to check out this summer, some new drinks to try, and a dearly departed sandwich shop. But before we start, Sophia, is there a flavor or a dish that you consider like the quintessential summer bite?
I mainly don't want to cook in the summer. Like, I will not turn my oven on if it's going to be super hot. So I want to do a lot of like cold noodles this summer, spring rolls, and also sandwiches, because I also feel like a pool sandwich is incredible. I watched way too many TikToks last year of people doing their beach sandwiches. So lots of inspiration for this year. And also excited. I know we're going to talk about a closed down sandwich shop, but there's also a lot of new ones opening too. So I think this is a good time of year to check them out.
Yeah, like to me, a meatball sandwich does not scream poolside appropriate, but that is going to be an exciting new option for people who do want to eat a meatball with their feet dipped into the pool. My summer combination, I love every year making these grapefruit rosemary popsicles, and this has just become a flavor that I associate with the summertime that I personally love.
That sounds delicious.
It is. Pro tip, everybody, combine these 2 flavors, make a cocktail, a mocktail, a popsicle, and I don't know, to me, that feels more like the ultimate poolside treat. But we are going to move out of the pool and into a brand new brick and mortar in Garfield. Sophia, I know you are especially excited about this spot.
Yes, El Colibri. These are probably some of my favorite tacos in Pittsburgh, and I am so happy that they have a new permanent home. So El Colibri used to be a ghost kitchen that operated out of a shared space in Oakland. They did do some in-person like things at farmers markets. Like I know they're at Bloomfield, which is where I discovered them, Squirrel Hill. They've been to Veg Fest, and actually it looks like they're still planning to be at all of these things, even though they have this new space on Penn Ave in the Garfield area. So they do amazing birria tacos, but they've got plenty of other fillings you can put in your tacos too. Gorditas. So they're like masa, little dough pockets with filling inside. They have elote. All of their agua frescas hit really well. Mallory, I know I've been recommending this to everyone. Have you actually been?
I have. I think like the same week you recommended this to me, I made it a point to stop by their stand at the Bloomfield Farmers Market and got their mushroom birria because they are very vegan and vegetarian friendly. I agree. Definitely. It has to be like the best taco I tried in the city of Pittsburgh. It was so good. So I am equally as excited about this spot.
Yeah, everything on their menu is also gluten-free. And, you know, I am a meat eater, but I actually think the mushroom birria might be better than their beef because I just love mushrooms. And one tip is you can, in fact, order the mushroom birria and still get real cheese because I'm sorry, vegan shredded cheese on a taco, like, doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, that's my go-to as well. I get the meat substitute, the real cheese. It is a perfect combo. They make those mushrooms taste so meaty and smoky in a way that is often hard to get when you're swapping in a vegetarian filling. So high marks from the team here for El Colibri. Go check out their new spot. There's also an opening from a familiar name in the city, Tambolini.
Yes, I never checked out their fine dining spots. I know they all closed down, but I'm really excited for this one. It's in Brookline.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, this family had 7 different restaurants across the city. Their final holdout was Joseph Tambellini in Highland Park, but that closed earlier this year. But for any Tambellini stands, you have another option.
This one is a little more casual. So their main thing is serving these artisan Italian sandwiches. So casual spot, but still very good food. I also saw that you can get their signature meatball, like one single meatball. You could also get it in a sandwich, but like you said, Mallory, if you're not feeling meatball at the pool, you can get like a muffaletta sandwich, like an Italian style sandwich, and then just get one meatball.
And I did see that they specifically use hoagie rolls from Mediterra Bakehouse, so you know that bread is good. I feel like Mediterra has really cornered the market on providing spots with delicious bread, and I am not upset about it.
Absolutely. Another sandwich place is Ipa in Lawrenceville. So this is spelled IPPA, but it's pronounced Ipa because the owner's kid couldn't say pizza as a child, so they just kind of ran with it. I think that is so
really
cute.
Sweet.
Yeah, so this is a food truck, but it's got a permanent location on Butler Street, so Lawrenceville. It's really close to Lola's Beer. So Tuscan-inspired sandwiches here. They also have like pizza. They say like it's called street pizza, so it's easy
Streetza?
to eat. Streetza, I like that. And then Bombolini, those donuts. They have one stuffed with Nutella that looks super delicious. Their sandwiches do lean a little meat heavy. They have an Italian chop, a short rib one, which I have heard is so good. Chicken salad, but they also have a vegetarian option. This one also seems mushroomy.
It's interesting, though, because we're describing these sandwiches. We're like, here's where to hit up this summer. And then this really sort of like hot, heavy, food coma inducing kind of food.
No, you go take it to the pool, and by then it's like cooled down a little bit, and the things have like strudelated. Okay, Mallory's not feeling this.
You want your lukewarm short rib at the poolside?
Okay, maybe not the short rib. I guess I'm thinking about like a juicy tomato that like, I know you don't like a raw tomato, so maybe this isn't speaking to you, but one where, it's like made the sandwich like a little nice and juicy. It's like a little bit of dressing without needing to go like super heavy on like olive oil or something.
Okay, you've swayed me a little bit, or I can understand why this might hold appeal to somebody.
Yeah.
We are going to shift now to Penn Avenue in the Cultural District because there are 2 spots opening across the street from each other. So the first is called Harry and Fritz. It just opened. This is a new concept from a guy who already owns some spots in Philly, and it is an homage to his grandpa and his great uncle who were named Harry and Fritz, hence the name. And it's serving American food with kind of retro decor inside. The menu is pretty seafood heavy. There's options like lobster bisque, linguine and clams, lobster whipped mashed potatoes. This is like a sit down spot. This is not I'm bringing this out for a little picnic. I mean, I guess you could have an upscale picnic with lobster whipped mashed potatoes to go.
That sounds really good. I also want to have seafood summer. So this sounds like a place I am going to check out.
Okay, so you will see Sophia there. Across the street, this is not open yet. It's set to open at some point this summer, but as far as I can tell, no opening date, is Spork Island Trading Company. And if this name sounds familiar to you, there is a history here. Sophia, are you familiar with this?
Yes, I went to Spork Pit Barbecue in the South Side. I know this place has gone through like many iterations, and there's a volcano involved.
Yes. So there was this brief moment where there was the spot on the South Side Spork Pit Barbecue. It was where Double Wide Grill used to be. And then the guy behind this wanted to rebrand it as Spork Island Trading Company and turn it into this sort of like tiki-themed spot with a volcano.
To make the South Side a destination.
Yes. But I guess because that particular spot is located in the East Carson Street Historic District, he had to get approval from the Historic Review Commission to make the kind of external changes you would need to like have a volcano on site. And the commission was not into their plans. I found this great article in City Paper from the time that said commissioners deemed the concept incompatible with the historic district and not in keeping with the desired Victorian era aesthetic. Some members went so far as to call the tiki theme possible cultural appropriation and not of this continent. So this plan did not live to see the light of day.
But now I guess they're going downtown. Do you know if there's a volcano coming downtown? I want to see a volcano. in a restaurant. I'm sorry. Bring back the days of like Rainforest Cafe.
Wow, that is a deep cut. I remember feeling like the coolest kid at school with my Rainforest Cafe t-shirt. But yeah, so, at the time when it became clear that this couldn't happen on the South Side, the guy behind this, Steve Zumoff, who's had a bunch of like beloved but dearly departed spots in Pittsburgh. Double Wide Grill was his, Lava Lounge, the Beehive, R.I.P. He told City Paper, it's not dead, it's just not happening on the South Side. So this concept, at least, this like tiki-themed spot, it's going to open in the cultural district, but I have not been able to find whether or not there will be a volcano. Like the Pittsburgh Magazine coverage on this opening says there's rumor of a volcano, but I haven't found any other solid reporting or definitive sourcing. So I guess that remains to be seen. There's not a clear opening date for this, but now I guess everyone's just waiting to see whether we do get our Pittsburgh volcano. Something I did find hilarious, I know I keep citing the City Paper story, but it really made me crack up, was there was, all this discussion about could you actually do this on the South Side in this historic district. City Paper put in an editorial note that volcanoes have been erupting on Earth for 4 billion years, and there were once Appalachian volcanoes. So the tiki theme, IDK, but the volcanoes, I feel like we can all get behind.
I'm certainly behind it. Another new, not restaurant, truck I'm excited about. This has been around for a minute, but I feel like they've been popping up at more events now that, we are in festival season. This is Nectar Candy Co. It is a Swedish candy cart. I feel like also very big as a food trend. I've seen so many people on TikTok do, their Swedish candy hauls. So if you want to try this yourself, definitely check out Nectar Candy Co. They do a really good job of posting on their website and Instagram, where they're going to be like this coming weekend. You can find them at the Strip and Spigolo, this coffee shop in Edgewood. This is hands down the best gummy candy I have ever had.
Ooh.
Very high quality. I spent way too much of my money on it.
I was going to ask how the pricing compares to just like a bag of peach rings you would get at your local Walgreens.
So it is sort of like a pick and mix style, right? So I guess it costs however much you grab. So they didn't have a price listed, but I was like eavesdropping on everyone else when they were paying. And I heard like $5, $7, $8. And I'm like, I really like candy. I'm probably going to hit 10. And then it's my turn. And they're like $16. And I'm like, Sophia, I have filled up quarter of this bag. So whoops.
But it was worth it?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you want like a little bit of a treat yourself moment, this is absolutely it. You could also just get, less candy than I did. I recommend the sour cola skulls, raspberry twins, red twists, and sour skulls. They also have a spicy mango candy that is very good and like spicy in a way that feels like you're not eating candy. It's kind of a strange thing. And it's also like still soft and chewy and like foam candy type. Yeah, delicious. Highly recommend.
So for the record, you recommend both these sour skulls and these sour cola skulls. Those are two separate items, both worth your time.
Yes, the sour skulls are small and strawberry flavored. Also, the person at the cart was very generous with samples. So I think if you do want to try something, you could probably ask. Their sour candy is really good. Not super sour, but I think like hits the spot without feeling super artificial.
Poolside meatball, I'm still iffy on. Poolside bag of sour skulls sounds divine.
CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today by the Westmoreland Museum of Art. If you've never been, you're not behind. I checked out the Westmoreland for the very first time earlier this year, and y'all, I was blown away by how much art and creativity they have packed into this pretty compact space. And they're bringing a new interactive experience to us this summer. They're doing Puttapalooza, art-inspired mini golf. Seriously, it's open now and runs through August 30th. It's an indoor 9-hole mini golf course that you can actually play. So it's for all ages, $10 for adults, $5 for kids, and anyone under 4 plays for free. There's a cash bar on Fridays, and everyone plays for free on Sundays. Plus, it's super special because everything on the course is inspired by artwork actually displayed in the museum. Athleticism not required, nor is registration. There's also a scavenger hunt. They really thought of everything. Regular museum entry and parking is always free, and while you're visiting, make sure you check out exhibits like Steel Valley Visions and Play Ball, The Art of George Sosnak. Learn more at thewestmoreland.org.
Okay, we have talked about the food, so now let's get into the drinks. What is new for folks to try this summer?
There is so much happening in the non-alcoholic space, which makes me super excited. There's this new non-alcoholic beer that's being made in Pittsburgh. It's called Virtue Signal. And right now they're offering 3 different types of beer. One is a West Coast style IPA. Another is a Belgian style wheat. And the last one is a vanilla porter. I actually tried a little sip of this with roving producer Laura Sutsui. She was really into the Belgian style wheat, and she definitely recommends it and wants to be including it in her beer pickup at Giant Eagle, hopefully when it hits stores there. She also thought the name was super fun, Virtue Signal, and they kind of explained that the name is supposed to be intentionally provocative. In the press release, they said the virtue we are signaling: never compromise on flavor, never try to fit in, never apologize. In short, never hide your good taste. So I think that's kind of fun that they're leaning into it. Right now, you can find Virtue Signal at some restaurants in Mount Lebo, the same neighborhood where the founder lives, and it's available in beer distributors around Banksville, Cranberry, Sewickley right now, but it is coming to more craft breweries and grocery stores soon, so definitely be on the lookout for that.
You know, we just had a whole episode about kind of the future of craft beer in Pittsburgh because so many spots recently have either closed or filed for bankruptcy, and it gives the impression that things are dire. CityCast's Owen Gaby came on to explain why that is not the case, why we still have such a strong craft beer scene, even with these closures. And one of the things he mentioned was the importance of like finding your niche, doing something unique. And so Virtue Signal sounds like it is on the right track and hopefully is going to be around for a good long while.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Well, moving out of the grocery aisle and into a physical space, a new-ish spot is the Bohemian, open on the north side. So this is a bar inside the building where the Garden Theater used to be. It was formerly an adult theater. There is a very fascinating history there.
Oh, for sure.
We've got an article all about it on our website. We'll drop it in the show notes if you want to dive in. But so now that space like kind of has a new life. You've got Mayfly Market in one spot, which serves up like groceries and little goodies. I know they got a fridge full of Leona's ice cream sandwiches. And now,
soup and sandwich counter, really good.
Yes, we can both personally recommend. But now across the hallway, you've got this new bar, the Bohemian, serving up beer from Golden Age Brewing Company in Homestead. Plus, it's got cocktails and wine. The decor is really fun, like leather couches, gold accents, rich jewel tones. Feels a little fancy. And then this also feels pretty fancy to me. You know, when you've got like upscale specialty popcorn, you're somewhere a little swanky. So they've got flavors like white cheddar, salted caramel, maple chili garlic.
Ooh.
And you're also allowed to bring in food from Mayfly there too. So you can go get your soups and sandwiches and then have a nice drink.
That sounds really fun. The maple chili garlic definitely has me super interested. And while we're on beer, I also saw that Driftwood Oven is doing a beer collab with Cinderlands. It's called Check the Cone. It's a Czech pale ale. And, you know, like the name suggests, it's Pirates related. Driftwood wanted a drink that would pair really well with a Pirates game and pizza. And if you want this, you'll have to go to a Cinderlands location or Driftwood. It's not sold commercially, but you can get it available in person, on tap, and in cans. And if you haven't been to Driftwood Oven recently, highly recommend checking that out because they've recently renovated their space, I think a couple months ago. So now I think like eating there is a much nicer experience. They sort of like redid the layout. They also host late night events too, like Driftwood After Dark, which is like a little dance party where there's pizza and drinks. So lots going on there.
And then one more drink spot. This is a reopening, a place that I think many people are excited to re-experience. Butcher and the Rye is reopening downtown. This is a restaurant and whiskey bar that originally opened in 2013. It's part of the Richard Deschamps restaurant group, the spot that owns Meat and Potatoes, Poulet Bleu, a ton of other spots around the city. The year after it opened, it actually became the first bar in Pittsburgh to get a James Beard nomination for Outstanding Bar Program. So had like a pretty fast ascent. But then during the pandemic in 2020, it closed down. It's had some pop-ups. They had an après-ski bar, for example. But now it is coming back in full force on July 8th. Reservations are open now. So if you want to go get that fancy whiskey, if you ever had a drink there that you've been missing desperately for the last 6 years, this is your chance.
This sounds really cool. Like, this was before my time in Pittsburgh, but I've had people mention it to me as like a really great spot. And even though I'm not a huge drinker, I am just so impressed by the pictures I've seen of their wall of whiskey, like floor to ceiling. It is wild to look at.
Yeah, I mean, it does have this vibe of like, go see a show and then step into the spot with a huge selection of whiskey and like a beautiful bar. Like this sort of, when I would go downtown as a little kid and dream about what adulthood would look like, it was that, like a show and a fancy drink. So fulfill that fantasy. And then, I mean, we should mention they also have food here. This isn't just like a whiskey bar. They have a pretty extensive menu, hence the butcher in the name, Butcher and the Rye. They've got stuff like rabbit and dumplings, schnitzel, dirty pasta.
Dirty pasta? What is that?
It's one of those items where I don't know what all of the words mean, but it includes duck sugo and chicken livers.
Okay, interesting. I was thinking, like, what are they doing? Spiking their pasta with whiskey instead of, like, vodka? I don't know.
Maybe Stroza Preti is a type of alcohol. I do not know. Okay, no, actually, I just looked it up. It's like a hand-rolled twisted pasta, so I take that back. Maybe it looks like a corkscrew, like you'd pop wine. Somebody is listening to this show right now who's like, you fools. You do not know your high-end meat dishes.
No, I know my high-end candy.
But anyway, so yes, welcome back, Butcher and the Rye. But this news goes hand in hand, you know, talking about the Richard Deschamps group. While one restaurant rises, another doesn't fall. It takes a little pause. So we're going to shift now into a couple of closings around town. And the first is a temporary closure within the Deschamps group, Taco.
Yes, this is a Mexican-Japanese fusion spot downtown. Their last day for a moment is going to be on June 28th, and they're just kind of thinking about how they want to redo the concept, do some renovations, rethink the menu, and more. But, you know, that being said, on Instagram, they have been asking people for feedback, and there are a lot of comments where people are like, you have to keep this one menu item, like the octopus taco, you know, namesake, taco. So if you have big feelings about anything, make sure you share, and maybe that'll be put into consideration. They are rounding out their last day, again, June 28th, with a DJ night. So I think that's kind of a fun way to close out, you know, the current taco and look ahead to whatever is next.
And before we move on, I do want to circle back to this dirty pasta because Sophia, I just want to make sure I don't sound ridiculous here. And this is like a known dish in all of Pittsburgh. I will say that the era of the Butcher and the Rye was like the era when I was not living in Pittsburgh. You know, I didn't boomerang back until after it had closed. But literally like the pop-up you get on the Butcher and the Rye site that's like, we're back, baby. They say, it's been too long, dirty pasta. So I assume maybe this is like their most beloved dish. And actually, if you look it up, the first hit you get is a Pittsburgh Magazine article with their recipe for this dish. So for anyone who was living in Pittsburgh from the 2013 to 2020 era who's like, duh, this was the dish in the city, I apologize for my own ignorance.
We're still learning new things about the city we live in. We love that. That's okay.
One final closure that I know people are really mourning is Stuntpig over in Squirrel Hill.
Yes, they started out as a food truck and got a space in Squirrel Hill about 2 years ago, and they stopped service there at the end of May. The owners did put up a post about how they were going to take a break and reassess, so this sounds sort of similar to what Taco's doing. They aren't done. They're figuring out what to do with their concept next, so we'll keep our eyes peeled. I will say, like, I've never eaten at that sandwich shop because it was just so tiny. It's next to, like, the waffle place.
Right, this is like in between the waffle place and the Cold Stone.
Right. So there's not a lot of sit down space. And I feel like that's kind of the appeal if you get a brick and mortar. So I don't know. I hope they figure out something that works for them. You know, maybe they will find success by bringing back their food truck. But I know people love their sandwiches. So fingers crossed.
And I saw a lot of people talking about how this particular space has had kind of a high turnover because of it being so small, or like that's at least why people guess that like no places have really stuck there. So I'm going to be keeping my eye both on what Stuntpig does next and also what happens next in that space. And if somebody can move in who can like stand the test of time, working with that kind of tight little space. But hopefully, if you are one of those who is devastated by the closure of Stuntpig and are looking for your next great sandwich, there's a few new spots that you can consider. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. And a reminder, if you want even more food coverage, go into our back catalog. We've got tons of episodes about our city's food scene, or head over to our website, pittsburgh.citycast.fm. You can support the work we do here by becoming a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We will be back tomorrow with more from around the city. Talk to you soon. Does the city of Pittsburgh allow you to just bring a sandwich into their pools? I don't know.
I mean, you can sit next to the pool and eat your sandwich. Maybe dip your feet. I don't know. I'm not literally eating it in the pool for anyone out there.